Chapter 1. A letter for James once. A postman arrived in my village. The postman brought me a letter for my boy Paul. "Is your name James?" the postman inquired. "Yes," I replied. "I have got a letter for you." The postman read the cover. James, of the village of Mina. "A letter for me? Who from?" I inquired. The postman glanced at the envelope a second time. "From Paul," he said. He handed me the letter and disappeared. "Martha! Martha!" I shouted to my wife. "Come here, we've got a letter. From our son Paul." Martha came outside and examined the letter. She was thrilled, but she was also anxious. "A letter from Paul," she said. "Is he well and alive?" "I'm going to find a school teacher. He can read the letter. There was no school 50 years ago, so I cannot read or write. I live in a small village. The only work is farming. My only son Paul left the village 2 years ago, and my 3 daughters are married. Paul is making a lot of money in a foreign country." Martha and the school teacher returned. Many others arrived. Everybody wanted to. Hear my letter? The school teacher opened the envelope and read the letter. Taylor Street, London, E19, England, March 16th. Dear Father, I live in London. I work in a factory. The job is very difficult. I work a lot at night, but I get good pay. I am fine, and I share an apartment with people from my nation. I am sending you £100 in this letter. This is for you and my mother. Love to you and mother, Paul, 100. I exclaimed to the school teacher, "You're mistaken. It's an error." "No," the school teacher replied. "I am not wrong. It is not an error. Here is the money." And he handed me a paper. "What is this?" I inquired. "A money order," replied the school teacher. "Go to Darer. Show this money order to the post office at Darer. The money order value is £100. The post office clerk will pay you out." 100, I repeated again. Everybody laughed and said, "James, you are a wealthy man. You can buy a lot of things for your farm and for your home. And I can buy some good food and wine in Darer. I am going to have a party for you all," I explained to my friends. Martha said, "Paul is a good son." That night, the villagers discussed the money order and my funds. Martha and I discussed the money as well. We had many things we needed on the farm. Chapter 2. James goes to Darer. The following morning, I woke up quite early. It was dark, and everybody was still sleeping, but I was heading to Darer. I bathed and dressed with great care. I wore my finest clothes, and I took my finest stick along. I tucked the money order in my pocket with great care, and I bid Martha farewell. I hiked 10 miles to the main road. I sat on the main road and had breakfast. I waited for the bus. I waited for 2 hours. Then a bus arrived, and I got on. It is far from Darer. The bus drives 3 hours. I arrived at Darer and walked to the post office at once. I do not frequently visit Darer. I know only the market and a single shop. This is Rick's shop. I purchase items for my farm from Rick. There were plenty of people in the post office. I inquired about money orders. A man indicated the line. There was a long row of people, and I was at the end. At last it was my turn. I was in front of the line, but the official did not attend to me. "Excuse me," I said. "It's my turn. I'm next." "You." "Next, old fellow. I am very busy," the official said. "See my papers. See all these people. I am very busy and you have to wait." So I waited. Eventually, the official glanced at me. "What do you want?" he asked. I handed him my money order. "This is my 100-pound money order," I said. The official extended his hand. "Identity card," he said. "Excuse me, I don't get it," I said. "Your identity card," the official repeated. "Hand over your identity card." "What is an identity card?" I asked. "I can't pay you any cash for this money order. To start with, I need to be shown your identity card. Your identity card states your name and your address. Your identity card identifies you. There is a picture of you in your identity card." "I don't know you. Who are you?" The officer was slightly annoyed, but I was annoyed as well. "Who am I?" I asked. "Everybody knows me. I am James from the village of Mina. I do not have an identity card, and I don't require an identity card." "Old man, I'm very busy and you're very idiotic," said the official. "Who are you? Where is Mina? Give me my money. Give me my 100 pounds, I replied. The officer glared at me and told me, "Show me your identity card. I don't know you." The officer returned my money order and walked away. "Where can I purchase an identity card?" I asked the officer. He didn't talk to me. He didn't reply. "Go to the Ministry of the Interior," a man told me. He was in the line, and he instructed me. Chapter 3. The Ministry of the Interior. I went to the Ministry of the Interior. It was a large building with lots of offices. I asked a guard, "Where do I get an identity card?" "Room 7, he replied. I went down a long corridor and discovered room 7. There were lots of people waiting. I sat down and waited too. After a long while, a man phoned me. "Come in," he said. I entered. "I want an identity card," I said to him. "Name?" he asked. "James of the village of Mina," I replied. "Age?" he asked. 70 years, I replied. He took down my responses. "Do you have a photograph?" he asked. "No," I replied. "Go to the photographer across the street. Bring me 2 photographs," he said. I visited the photographer. He clicked my photo. I came back after an hour with 2 photographs. The man placed 1 photograph on my new identity card and stamped it. "Here is your identity card," he told me. "Now you can collect your money." Chapter 4. Back to the post office. I hurried back to the post office. I waited once more in the long D line. When I got to the front, I handed my identity card and my money order to the official. The official examined my identity card. "Now I know you," he said. He counted the money and handed me 100 pounds. I smiled. "Thank you," I said. I stepped out of the post office. I was relieved. Now I had money to assist Martha and better our farm.